Good morning, friends. You can say that, Joe. I'm not going to say that. So good to see you all here this morning. Isn't it something to live in North Carolina where you can have snow days in the middle of the week and today feels like we could have a picnic? I love it. So welcome today. We're going to have a special Sunday. I think most of us here are aware that we're going to do a Rise Against Hunger event in this room this afternoon. So we're going to transform this chapel into a meal preparation place. And before we do that, we're going to have a little fun. We're going to get into our bodies. We're going to do a little drum circle with some music. And then we're going to piggyback on what we did yesterday. So I'm going to talk about that a little more in just a minute. But before we do all that, I invite you all to just kind of get grounded and enter into this space like we've been doing. We'll put the community announcements up at some other time. We're not going to run through them this morning, but we do want you to know what's going on this week. So as we are here, I invite you to speak with Melissa the response to what it is that I say here. So come as you are, aching, tired, joyful, or seeking.
Here, we are woven together in love.
Set down what you carry and let this be a place of rest.
Here, we are held in hope and mercy.
Be present to yourself, to each other, and to the divine life that flows through all things.
Here, together, we will find the common thread of divine life that connects us all.
And I invite us to just take a moment to sink in to that divine life that connects us all. This life in which we live and move and have our being. Our God, who is lover, beloved, and love overflowing. Okay, so this morning we're going to do something a little different. How many of you like to play a drum or pick up a percussive instrument and just have fun with it? Oh, it's a good number of you. So those of you who might feel inclined, I invite you to come up to our percussion section here and grab a drum or some shakers or some claves or a cabasa, or what is it called in Africa, Joe?
Afuche.
An apuche, and it's extra points if you know which one that is. And Chris Barr you don't get to say, because I know you know. Okay. Fun. There are lonely drums up there. Come on. Does anybody else want a drum? Melissa, is force feeding some shakers on y'all.
No coercion in the spirit, but also
No, there's no coercion in the spiritual life, but there is in a drum circle.
take a shaker.
You must play. You will play. Play.
Now, let me give you a few instructions before we start, because we're not just doing this for the fun of it. We're also doing this because a drum circle can actually bring us all collectively, communally, to a different place. And so what we're going to do here, you can follow along, and by the way, we just rehearsed this one time before you came, so the stakes are low, but I know it's going to go perfectly well. Melissa is going to lead us in an a cappella version of this song that we've done quite a few times, I Will Build This World from Love. So if you know it, please just join in with her in the beginning. We're going to sing it at slightly slow tempo. And we're going to stop, then we're going to pick up the tempo, and we're going to add percussion the second time that we sing it. And so if you have a drum, Inder's going to play for you right now the rhythm that you are invited to play, unless you're really talented and you want to do something fancier. That's fine. But if you're looking for something to hang on to, Inder's going to show you right now what it is you're going to be invited into. And you'll follow me. I'm going to bring you along. So.
Or you're not talented and you want to try something fancy.
I mean,
that's
fine
also
too.
okay.
Basically, if you feel confident,
no
I think that's what I
audition.
meant to say. If you feel confident, yeah. Oh, okay. Thank you. Good. Okay, now if you have a different instrument, if you have shakers, or maybe nobody picked up these, maybe I'll do this. All right, if you have a shaker, kind of just go with the rhythm. Like I don't have a shaker because I picked up the wrong instrument, but yes. Okay, you're gonna come in on that second time. Okay, we're gonna do this. All right. If you happen to have picked up an instrument like this, which I don't know if you did, we're just going to do the downbeat. 1, 2, 3, 4. And if you don't have an instrument and you want to participate, you can clap. Same thing, okay? And we can all do that, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? The third time, Joe's going to come in with the guitar, and we're going to sing it all together for a few times. And then at some point, after 3 times, Joe's guitar is going to drop out, but we're going to keep singing one more time. And then when we're done singing, we're going to keep this drum circle going for a while. And I can't tell you exactly how long. I'm going to sort of see if I can feel when it feels right to do it. But here's the key you're going to be looking for from me. I want you to get into the rhythm, and I want you to feel it, but I want you to kind of experience it as a meditative practice. But pay enough attention to when you see me do this, we all stop at the same time, because there's real magic in that. Then we're going to have a few minutes of silence to sink into what we created together. All right? So let's give it a go, folks.
I will build this world from love. La da da, la da da, la da da da. Will you build this world from love? La da da, la da da, la da da da. And if we build this world from love, la da da, la da da, la da da da, then God will build this world from love. La da da, la da da, la da da da. I will build this world from love. La da da, la da da, la da da da. Will you build this world from love? La da da, la da da, la da da da. And if we build this world from love, la da da, la da da, la da da da, then God will build this world from love. La da da, la da da, la da da da. I will build this world from love. La da da, la da da, la da da da. Will you build this world from love? La da da, la da da, la da da da. Oh, and if we build this world from love, la da da, la da da, la da da da. Oh, God will build this world from love. La da da, la da da, la da da da. I will build this world from love. La da da, la da da, la da da da. Will you build this world from love?
If you took an instrument, if you would quietly rise and return your instrument from where you got it. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. As Sue mentioned, I'm Ashley Stevenson. I'm so glad to welcome you today to our very special Sunday. As she mentioned, it is Rise Against Hunger. But if you are here as a newcomer, we want to welcome you. You are the most important person in this room today. And I think I've seen one or two faces that I haven't recognized. So please feel free to speak to me or any one of us, as we'd love to let you learn a little bit more about who we are. And we just want to reaffirm that if you are here today, that you most definitely belong with us. And one of the services that we have here at Common Thread is our listening service. And I have found that to be one of the most helpful things in my spiritual journey. I've done it over the past couple of weeks, is when you are just able to get honest and vulnerable with just one person. Just the weight that is lifted is just so transformative. So we will have Cherie. I think I've seen her. She's over there. Cherie will be our listener today. So if you just go down the hall to my left, there will be our library at the very end. And Cherie will be there to listen to you if you're going through a tough time. And as we affirm every week, I will read our call and you will respond. If you are here, you belong.
If you are here, you belong.
We are, every one of us, carriers of the inner light.
We are, every one of us, carriers of the inner light.
And we are, every one of us, carriers of divine breath.
And we are, every one of us, carriers of divine breath.
This is usually where we would stand and greet one another, but today we're on a tighter schedule. So just turn to your left and say, howdy, neighbor. Howdy, neighbor. And turn to your right and say, howdy, neighbor.
Thank you, Ashley. All right, so real quick, being community. What we're going to do today is kind of a microcosm of what we did yesterday in the room. I think most of you who are members here are aware. We had a contemplative retreat yesterday, and the second part of that retreat was a visioning session where we imagined together what Common Thread might become, who we might become as a community. And today is going to be kind of an extended version of What Are You Thinking, Feeling, and Sensing? But we're going to do it a little differently in a guided way because, again, this is the emerging vision of Common Thread. What are you thinking, sensing, and feeling today? So we don't have a lesson, but we're going to talk through some prompts together. Yesterday we had 2 hours to do this. Today we have 40 minutes, so we're going to have to do it a little bit differently. Just so you can get a sense of what happened yesterday, we had people go into separate rooms to find a discernment space, to talk through the questions together and to see what came up. And if you see over here on this table, we've got a whole bunch of Post-it notes and some bigger Post-it notes. Some really lovely, beautiful things arose during our conversation yesterday. And I credit that to two people who led that session, Heather Stewart, who is our board chair, who was up here with a drum. There she is. And Chris Knox, this is a face you may not recognize, actually, but Chris has been a member of our community for 2 years. But he lives in Charleston, South Carolina, and he is kind of the leader of the remote team. And he came up here to help facilitate things yesterday, and together they're a powerhouse of a team. So I'm going to turn it over to them because they're going to lead us through, again, an abbreviated version of what we did yesterday so that those of you who couldn't make it can also share what your thoughts are as we move forward. And so I'm going to turn it over to them now. Do you want the clicker? Do you want me to have the clicker?
Sure, thank you.
Okay. You will need a mic, yeah. Yeah.
Hello, hello.
And you can use that one too.
All right. Hi, everyone. As Sue mentioned, I'm going to just pretend like I'm just talking and not thinking about all the things. Heather Stewart. I've spoken a few times. If I haven't met you, hello. It's great to meet you in this formal way. Please say hi to me after service if you'd like. Chris Knox is a rock star. I just want to say that up front. The magic that happened yesterday cannot be understated in terms of like the level of dialogue, how people felt. So just shout out to our friend here who came up from South Carolina. I just wanted to give a couple nods to some of the things that came up yesterday, not to drive people to any particular point. We really want to hear from you, and yet to try and give agency to, there's a breadth of areas you can go with some of these prompts. To help facilitate this what are you thinking, sensing, feeling type session today, we're going to click through prompts and kind of try and shift if we need. And yet also if things come up for you, I have papers and pencils that I'm going to pass around. So if you're not someone that wants to grab the microphone and talk, because like that's so not the thing, we have paper and pencil for you. If writing feels like an impediment for you, please capture one of us after our time here today. You can also email us. We really just don't want to have barriers to receive from the community. Some of the things that came up yesterday when we were talking about, what are we looking to be as a community? What does it mean to come here? How do you even explain this place when you tell them you come here in the first place? Some of the things we heard were, this is a place it's an island of misfit toys. And this is where I find belonging in this place. There's a sense of authenticity here. Even if people don't know the right answer, they can sit in that discomfort, or they're working to sit in that discomfort. And so there's that angle. There's a very practical angle, like, can we figure out a way to, what is all these chords? Like, I would love to help, but I have no idea how to use any of them. So some practical type ideation came up yesterday. And then some joking but very human things came up, which is like, you can say fuck here and it's cool. So truly, you can go anywhere with where your brain takes you, where your heart takes you, how you feel when you come here. We genuinely want to hear from you. So I'm going to pivot to my friend Chris as he got through some of these prompts, and I will pass out the papers and pencils for those interested.
All right. Is that working? Yep. Okay, real quick, a little bit about me. My wife and I join every Sunday. In fact, hello, wife. I'm sure she's watching right now. From Charleston, South Carolina. I think Heather mentioned we've been a part of Common Thread for about 2 years now. Prior to that 2 years, in the first half of my entire life, I was steeped in conservative evangelicalism. And I was, sorry, there it is. I should remember this from my rap days. Yeah. It's been a while. Anyway, I was steeped, and probably about 8 or 9, 10 years ago or so, things began to unravel for me, and unravel in a big way. My very core was shaken and stirred and dumped out all over the floor, and it was very tough. It was a very, very, very tough. Sorry, I got it now. And my wife was a rock. So let me say that out loud. And then I found Common Thread. And it was after the first lesson, I said, these are my people. And it has been a re-raveling for me that has brought wholeness back to my life. So I appreciate you people. I appreciate what this space is. I appreciate what you are here to be and who you are here to become, because I'm on that journey as well. I'm getting direction right here. Okay. So when I did rap, I could move around the stage. I could do all kinds of things, but I can't do that here. All right. Here we go. I hear it. So what I'm here to do is help us explore, okay? We are not here to look for answers, because the questions we're asking, we can't answer today. And in fact, one of the questions has the word decade in it, okay? That's 10 years. So what we're here to do is talk about the art of the possible. Who is it that we want to become collectively? And who is it that we are individually, that we are becoming, that makes us who we are collectively? These are the kind of, I won't say esoteric, but they're big questions, okay? They're big questions. And we want to take some time to hear from everybody. Yesterday we heard from people who were here with the retreat. Today we're hearing from you who are here for our Sunday gathering. After we're finished with this, I will bug off to a room and I will join my friends on the remote stream, and we will invite them into the conversation. And then we will also prepare what we call an asynchronous method, where Sue is going to put these questions out into the wild, and you may think and answer at your leisure, and those will come back to us. Now, Friday when I got here, Jack and Sue were working through a conversation that they had that was beautiful yesterday. And Jack, he had a great suggestion, or a great observation. He says, listen, I'm going to spend some time and give you some information. What in the world are you going to do with it? Is anything going to happen with this? And my answer is yes. What you say is going to be captured. It's going to be used. You can see over here on the table, we have a ton of stickies of ideas that came up yesterday. I'm going to take those back to Charleston with me, and I'm going to put them on a digital whiteboard, okay? And then what we come back with today is going on the digital whiteboard. And what my remote friends come with today, it's going on the digital whiteboard. And that digital whiteboard is going to be public and accessible, and we'll do something with it as we work through what the next right thing is for these questions. So let me stop there. Questions on that before we go to the questions? Make sense to everybody? All right. This is a safe place. One of the things I love to do is hear contrary thinking. So in some point, we may ask, what's the opposite of this, right? Maybe not this question, but some of the questions, there's good opposites. There's like, well, what do we want people to feel in their bones when they come into this place, right? That's a very positive spin on the question. Sometimes it's hard to answer until we say, well, what do we not want people to feel when they come into this space, right? Yes, ma'am. Oh, sorry, real quick, logistics. We have remote friends on the live stream who are getting this context at the same time you are. So if we would just use the mic to make sure they can hear. Yep. Yep. Great question.
Do you want to repeat one of her?
Hello. The question from Mary, just for the sake of our remote friends, thanks everyone for your understanding in the room. How are we synthesizing and prioritize the information that we're receiving? Where's the places that that happens?
Did you want to? I want to overstep there.
I think that I have asked a few times how many people in this community are interested in serving on a strategic planning team. And this is really going to help be part of that team. So if part of your hesitation has been, I don't know what we're going to do when we get there, guess what? We're going to have a lot of material to work with to be able to synthesize and see what we can do going forward. And I don't know, Mary, I think you'd be a great person to be on that team. I'm just saying.
Congratulations. Beautiful. Beautiful. Now you see what's happening here. All right. Real quick, and then we're going to get started. Let me, so yesterday during the conversation, you guys remember a few lessons ago, Sue talked about the three forces, right? The affirming force, the denying force, and the reconciling force. That was a moment of conversation between her and Jack yesterday, and during that I took a note, and I want to share it with you because I think it helps to frame up what really we're here to do, and it is discernment. Okay, discernment is an act of figuring out, in my definition, the wisest next right thing. Okay, discernment. And we are here collectively. Discernment may be a time to acknowledge or name the affirming force, which is an opportunity, and to acknowledge and name the denying force, which is pushing back at CTC. And perhaps reconciliation is what we decide to surrender to when surrender is the next right thing. Okay? So with that, we can start with this first question. If we were to dream big, what is the divine inviting us to become in the next decade? If we were to dream big, what is the divine inviting us to become in the next decade? And you can write this down. You guys don't get the luxury of thinking like the folks yesterday had, okay? So it's fine to take time. Silence is okay. But if you have a thought, you want to verbalize it, please feel free. We'll get a mic over to you. Write it down. We'll collect that up however you want to get that thought out. And be patient with us as we move the mic. I don't think it's coming through.
It's great. This is what the person meant by the gobbledygook of chords and what do you do? And
There we go. There we go. Okay, so the question was big, right? If we dream big, I would say we should be the place for spiritual peace and growth in the triangle. Big. That way we've got two going.
Yeah, I just want to add to that. I just think, why don't more people come here? How do we get the word out? Like, everyone needs this in their life, so we can go from Sue's Garage Band to something a little bit more.
Always peace in the whole world and never a war or wars, ever. I lived during the martial law, so I know what that really means and how deep it really is.
I think this one is working. Okay.
I have no way of discerning whether or not, oh, you see what I did there? I have no way of discerning whether or not our remote friends can actually hear this, so I'm hoping for the best. I will try to actually repeat because sometimes the mic isn't picking up so well, okay? Any other thoughts?
Do you want to repeat? She's going to repeat.
Yep,
Okay.
there we go.
So, to me, my dream is that always there will be peace in the whole world. Never, ever a war or wars.
So if we were to dream big, this is a place of peace. Yes.
I think we all share that. However, I would love to be able to find a way, a process,
Yeah.
you know, a person who, I don't know, anything that will help us get there, because clearly we haven't been able to do it.
So what I hear you say is, that's a beautiful idea. How in the world do we do that thing? What does doing that thing look like and to get to that point? Great. Okay. All right, next question. What do we want people to feel in their bones when they walk into this space? What do we want people to feel in their bones when they walk into this space?
Acceptance.
That's a double up on acceptance.
Ease, like a sigh, the opposite being like constriction.
A sigh or ease, the opposite being constriction.
But then I'm going to be right in the camera shot.
Like home.
Like home, where it's at ease. Good.
I think it's important to remember that at ease does not always feel comfortable. And home is not always comfortable for some people. So some people come in here and they are a hurricane inside.
One of the, I won't call it a metaphor, I don't know how to call it, but yesterday somebody said, we need to be clear about making containers for people to be safe with whatever they might think or feel or hurricane through, right? And I think there's a certain ease that comes from safe containers where people can be.
Where your love resonates, where you kind of like feel that buzz in that life and it resonates out.
Resonance. Oh, yeah.
I think that when someone walks into a place that we want a lot of those things, acceptance and the ability to maybe escape from the constriction, it's important that we break the preoccupation and we do things that others maybe don't do, because we get so much in the habit of doing the same things over and over again, especially with how the world is. When we do things we don't want to do, or we continue to move down a path of consistently doing the same things again and again, it feels almost foreign. Like it's a very rare feeling that you can walk into a place and feel like you have a voice and you can do things that are maybe not in the norm. And so I feel like being your true authentic self and not being afraid to be your true authentic self will inspire others to do the same. So I think that's what will help. You know, I want to feel that in my bones around me and everyone else as well.
What's your name? Charlie? I don't think we've seen you here before. Is this your first time here? Welcome. Thank you so much. Thank you, Charlie. Welcome, Charlie.
Charlie is courageous. Lena?
I just want to repeat what Charlie said in a different way. Charlie, you want to walk in and feel that you are walking among people who are awake, not.
Yeah, Lena said you want to walk in feeling like you're in the midst of people who are awake, not asleep and mechanical. Great, thank you.
Hi, I'm new here as well. I came here last week and everyone was very welcoming, but the actual physical space is very like traumatizing to me. So being in a church is very difficult. So, I mean, even though there's no like cross or anything, it's still like part of a Baptist church. So that's something that I would consider like in the future.
Thank you. All right. Oh, got it. Yep.
So I've heard a lot of people say, I want to feel accepted,
But I think we should go even further than that and say everyone needs to feel actually needed. Like what they bring here is important. Each and every person brings something different, and that we actually need all of that diversity, all of it, good, bad, ugly, whatever. We need that.
Great. Just for coverage, diversity. We need to come into this space and feel needed. Our perspective needs to be needed. Okay. Oh, one more. Sure. Yep.
I was just thinking about what that means, acceptance and diversity, and something that's running through my mind is the ability to be less perfect. Like you cannot have to feel the need to be perfect to be accepted. Yeah.
Great. All right. Question 3. All right. What are we being invited to carry forward in a new way? What are we being, and let me offer this too. One of the things we asked folks to do yesterday is also consider each of these questions individually. What am I being invited to carry forward in a new way? Because this is inner work individually that we're journeying here, and we happen to be journeying together. So we don't take the individual out of this. The individual is part of the community, okay? What are we being invited to carry forward in a new way?
From coming here, I have learned firsthand that this, for me, means all of my interactions can bring peace. So I've learned from this space that I don't need to harbor anger, that there's no, it's good to feel anger now and then, but what I want to share with people, especially in my family where things might be tense or what have you, I want to cultivate peace and acceptance. So it's okay if another family member is angry, that's fine. But I don't want to nurture that anger. I don't want to hold that with them. I want to just spread peace, acceptance, all of that instead of coming back with anger. So yeah, this space has really helped me to find a calm, to share that calm with others.
So we've already been doing this, and I think it's definitely our strength, but I think we're being invited to carry forward the concept of God, being the divine inside us. Most of us were raised in a way that we were told who God was and what God wanted for us and what we had to do that was impossible to do in order to, get love and acceptance or whatever. So we say over and over that the divine's within. And if we really believe that God's accessible within us to drive our behaviors, we will be authentic and accepting and all the things that make this church work. But the underlying power of that is the divine within and not without, and not in some power structure outside of us.
I feel like we're being invited to carry forward, just like holding tension in a space of love as well, because, there always are going to be tensions, and trying to meet those with, as opposed to anger or othering, like just curiosity and intrigue, kind of rewiring our brains that way. And then also maybe like humility to know that a lot of what we believe are ideals we're striving towards that we don't always live up to. So when a newcomer comes in, like we're not perfect here. You know, we mess up. We aren't always living up to that. If you're here, you belong. But it's something that we're working towards, and that's a common connection. So just the humility to know that we haven't always arrived.
Yeah, that's great. One of the things that I think somebody said in context yesterday is if somebody gets triggered, oh, no. When you have a room full of humans, and I'm pretty sure we're all human here, it's when somebody gets triggered. How do we respond? How do we want to? What are we being invited to carry forward in a new way? How about how we respond to the diversity that will inevitably bring tension? How do we exist in that tension in a loving way, in a way that moves us forward individually and as a community? Is that fair? Yeah, great. Oh.
I think this room is there's many of us that feel pushed away by mainstream Christianity, all the rules and regulations or whatever that, and all the guilt that goes along with a lot of Christian faith. And I think that the common thread could serve, moving forward to, we should openly embrace Christian fundamental values and identify the distortions and mistakes of the past, and to, in a coherent, smart way, try to separate the two.
Gone. It's rethinking where we have been. Use the word smart. What does it look like going forward, healthy, whole? I shared yesterday, I knew I had kind of reconciled after about 10-ish years, when one day on my walk, I was walking home, and this came into my mind, and it was, I'm no longer in a fight to be right. I'm in a pursuit to be whole. And that has been the culmination of my 10 years. It's, how do I be whole moving forward and not so much worried about right? Great. 10 minutes. Thank you, Heather. All right, we got, is this question 5? 4? Okay. All right, we're gonna keep moving. What is at the heart of belonging in this community? What is at the heart of belonging in this community? Asked another way, if you feel like you actually belong when you come here, why is that?
Oh, I'll get it.
You got it?
I got it.
I feel I belong here because I know I am not judged.
Judged. I feel like I belong here because I know that I am not judged. Beautiful.
Yeah, just to add on to that, I say it's okay to be you. In fact, we want.
Ray says it's okay to be, in fact, it's okay to be you. We want you to be you. Going back to the diversity that we need.
My head went to a very practical place that I was thinking, where did I feel like I belonged the most? And it was when I was doing life story groups and sharing an Enneagram. That for me has made me feel like I belong in this community.
Great. Very practical.
Kind of the same where you feel a connection with somebody else, or
Yes.
Connection in it.
Yes. We be human together. We human together.
I think people need excuse me, to build history together. And in this community, we have a lot of social opportunities to do that, whether it's Life Story or Enneagram or Bunko Night or a brew crew or whatever it is,
Yeah.
artsy group. Lots of opportunity to build history with one another.
Great. Oh boy.
I think at the heart of lightness in terms of dogma in the community, like your belonging here is based on the fact that you're here, not based on that you've subscribed to a particular set of ideas.
I don't think this came up yesterday in our group, but I guess I want to say that all of this relates to all the work that's happening downstairs with the children and the teens, right? So that we're bringing on this whole new group of people and young people who are just learning these skills from young ages, and they'll be able to influence us as a community as well as, hopefully others around them. So just paying homage to this.
To
And
piggyback
they-
on that real quick, I'm sorry. The teens are answering these questions or talking about them right now downstairs, just so you know that this is going on right now.
And not to put the pressure on, and may we be examples of wholeness to them.
There was one more example that just came to me, is that the fact that Sue is sitting over there in that corner and we're all here talking and sharing our ideas. It's not that Sue is just dominating and controlling and telling us what we're going to do and what we're going to think, which I know a lot of us have come from other religions. But I love that we all have an equal voice and we're able to share what we're thinking, sensing, and feeling.
This is discernment at the community level. We are crowdsourcing discernment here, okay? That's what we're doing.
To kind of piggyback off of what they were talking about downstairs, I think I kind of felt like I knew I belonged when I could bring my children here and they are going to practice the same things here that we're trying to practice at home. So I don't have to constantly contradict what they learned and then bring it home and be like, well, that's not actually what we do. And so everything is consistent. And no matter what's going on here, no matter what's going on at home or in the neighborhood, I can trust that when I come here, it's the same practices and it's the same values. And we can have conversations that go a lot easier than if we were going other places.
Could I summarize? Beautiful thought. I want to make sure I actually heard that the way you intended it. It's important that we can come to a place of stability. Is that fair? Is that too oversimplified? Yeah. Yes. Yep. The shared values of what we are agreeing to together as a community is stable and consistent, and that is inherently a safe place. Okay. Yes, sir.
Two things would prevent this from being a place where I can belong. One is that my whole story could not be truly known by a subset of the church, that I couldn't be fully accepted for who I am, including the ugliness in my story. The other is that we don't treat our leaders as the conduits through which God flows to us, but that God flows through all of us, and our leaders teach us.
In fact, journey with us, alongside us, not necessarily in front or behind, but beside. Here we are. Here.
I was thinking that in this community, we try to go kind of up a level in the sense that we don't have to all have the same beliefs, but we all believe in the importance of each other and how we treat each other, if that makes sense.
Yes. Yes, we don't have to be tracking on the same perspective, that we share necessarily, but we do track on at our core and at a higher it matters that someone else matters, no matter their perspective. Is that fair?
I was going to say at the, I got the mic right. We moved on to the next question.
And that's not the one that you intended to answer, is it? Listen, that board means nothing.
Okay, it totally
It's
threw me.
nothing to you, okay? Chrissy, go ahead.
At the core of the core of belonging for me is unity consciousness. When I do things like self-awareness work or life story group, and I share what I would consider to be the vulnerable, ugly aspects of myself, the response I get is, I'm that way too. I feel that way too.
Yes.
I am you, not I will pray for you. You struggle with that.
Yeah. As we say in Charleston, bless your heart. Yeah. You take that any way you'd like. All right, last question, and guys, fantastic. Fantastic. Thank you for what you're doing. Last question. What would we say if someone asked, what is your church about? Or why do you go there? What would we say if someone asked, why do you go to Common Thread? What are you guys about?
To get a better life.
Mm. And the engineer in me says, and I will not take this thread any further, but the engineer in me says, you must define better. But we won't do that now, but I would be curious.
What I think this church is about is everybody's here because they have a heart desire to transform and become. And there is a clear process here of how to. And I love that.
Yes.
I think what our church is about is embodied in the name, Common Thread. So if what we have in common is we are human, what we have in common is we are divine, end of story.
That's a mic drop.
That's right.
I think I've often joked that I thought part of why I come to Common Thread is to make my counselor's job easier, right? Because we do get counselor-rich strategies.
Therapy in between therapy.
Maybe a discount.
Coming to Common Thread is about. Hello? Okay. About waking up, and the more we are the more we are able to be expressive of the divine, and when we collectively become light bulbs of the divine of love, that becomes a brighter and brighter light.
Yep, for our live streaming friends, John was saying we are here to individually focus on the journey, to be a better representation, a more fuller, wholer representation of the divine. And we'll do that again together. Is it fair, John?
I think for me, what draws me to this church is that it's a place of community that values diversity of thought, of experiences, of beliefs and backgrounds, rather than community built off of being the same or thinking the same.
Beautiful.
I come in here because I need a reminder that there are really good people. You know?
There are still good people. Oh my gosh.
Our 6-year-old said today in the car, why do you go to church? It's stupid and weird. And you just learn about God, and that's weird. And I said, it's because it's my place of peace every week where I can be a better person.
Oh.
Okay, what would you say to if somebody asked you? And often what Joe and I say, that we come to this church, believe it or not, after the preacher, if I may use that word, has the message, we can all talk about it. That doesn't happen anywhere else. So that's something that's really special, that we have that privilege to discuss what was presented.
And we can disagree. Isn't that lovely?
I come here, what's your church about? It's exploration. It's not doctrine, and it's not finite. It's a place where we can come and explore each other and the divine together.
All right, I don't want to short circuit any thinking. Anybody else?
I really love the lessons, how thoughtful they are, and they really make me think, and I learn about things that I never knew before, and I love it sort of opens my mind to all these different things.
That's great. The metaphor I use at work and with other engineers, of course, is we expand the aperture as much as we can each and every day, right? So we can get more of the picture to make more informed and better engineering decisions. I think life kind of benefits from that too.
Okay.
Beautiful. Any other
think
okay.
I think we're gonna have
all
to
right,
wrap
Sue
this
just
up.
said
Yeah.
we're done.
Because remember, I'm the boss, and I tell you all
That's
what
right.
to do.
That's right. All right, thank y'all.
Folks, before we get ready for what comes next, will you join me in dismissing our lovely friends who are on the live stream this morning by putting one hand on your hearts and remembering that what we just talked about in many, many different ways is that the divine is within us. That means that the fruit of the Spirit is also in us, love and patience and kindness and goodness, and it is our job to nurture the fruit of the Spirit that we might share it with the world. And so let's extend our other hand to our city and to our neighbors and to this world, committing as we do each week to be healers and repairers of that world. Amen. God bless you folks on live stream. I'm going to pop in, I think, and see how your conversation is going to go with Chris in just a minute. And folks here in the room, we are getting ready. Oh, you are dismissed, though. Bye. See ya.